at the end of the whole series, we see some graphic injuries. Your ear partly taken off. You were really hurt. We've seen a woman's face completely taken off. These are still aggressive animals. How do you reconcile the fact that I'm sure you weren't expecting the attack to happen, or the lady wasn't expecting to have her face ripped off, but she still did. But yet this is an animal that is allowed to be around little children, and it's from the outside, it's hard to understand how you can't also see the danger and how problematic that might be for people.
Well, first of all, that documentary is not politically correct about any of that.
Right.
And to go into details about that would be long-standing and would be a long conversation with you guys, but that actually did not take place.
What do you mean? Which bit?
The part about that chimp attacked me, that did not take place at all.
So what were we watching?
That was it's just a very very long story, but I self assure you, same thing that I had a debate with the documentary crew about is so it's just long standing, but I can self assure you I've never been injured by a chimpanzee ever, and definitely not those traumatic injuries.
Sorry, just to labour on it because it is such a big part of the doco. I feel like we can't just stop here not getting an understanding then of what actually happened, because I feel like if you're trying to set the record straight for people watching it, they are walking away thinking you've been injured by a chimp. Was it someone else that injured you, or another animal that injured you, or?
Um, it's like I said, it would take forever to go into the whole story because nobody else is aware of it. But I can self assure you, I did not get hurt by a chimpanzee.
Sorry, in the doco, there's photos of your injuries, your hands bandaged, and in your own words, you explain those injuries. Are you saying that what you said in the doco, is that what you were told to say, and that's not your own words, or how do you explain that part of the documentary?
Again, I just feel like that whole situation was scripted.
Do you think that was because they gave you a fake director and there was trust there that you thought it was someone kind of from your world? I mean, this was someone who used to work at the circus involved with animals. And do you feel like they built up a trust that shouldn't have been there in the first place, and so you were coerced into saying things that you didn't necessarily believe or were true?
Well, I think it was taken out of context, just like a
Right.
lot of the other stuff was taken out of context. And yes, it is because I had private conversations with somebody that I did not realize was basically bought and paid for by Eric Good. And I think all of if anybody could just listen to the real version of everything that happened with Tonka and everything that happened with Connie Casey's case and everything else, I think people would be quite amazed at the discrepancies with this documentary versus the reality.
I guess that's what we're trying to do now. And the reason I keep talking about it is because I feel like people are going to walk away with an idea in their head that you were attacked. And this is an opportunity for you to say what you saw is not what happened, but because you're not willing to say what happened, I think people are still going to walk away thinking you were attacked. Can you not explain a little bit about, or give some context as to what we saw so that people can understand that accurate representation that you're so desperately trying to get across?
Well, first of all, I had told them that a baboon had attacked me.
Right.
So like I said, the context is totally different than what really happened. And so it was just misleading on the documentary. And I think that was to further their agenda with PETA to be able to go ahead and further the agenda for the Primate Safety Act that's currently being in
Yeah.
legislation currently to ban the primates. So if you want to know the truth, I think it was all slanted for AR purposes to try to further their agendas, which is to get all primates out of the private sector. So I think that they beefed up or maybe embellished or exaggerated a lot of the documentary.
Was that your baboon or somebody else's baboon?
It was not my baboon, no.